Hey, hi, hello, how are you? I'm Pia and today we're going to be talking about my most anticipated releases for the year of 2021. Now, I'm definitely going to forget a lot of things and a lot of things are going to come out that I'm going to get really excited about that I just don't know about right now. These are the ones that are on my top priority, top excitement level list. I also have this list and kind of even more things that I'm anticipating coming out to this year. Also, excuse me if I say 2020 at all in this video. When referring to this year, I have noticed I keep messing it up, and you know what, I think that's the curse of 2020. So I'm going to be going through the books. Obviously I don't have them with me. If I did, that would be really cool. But I'm just gonna pull up pictures, tell you a synopsis, why I'm excited about it, why you guys should be excited about it. Hopefully get some stuff on your radar, and you guys can let me know in the comments if there's anything that's not on my radar that you think I would really like. So like I said, I'm pulling up my Goodreads shelf. I have other things. You can follow me on Goodreads. Okay, so the first book I want to talk about is Bridge of Souls. This is the third book in the, I think it's just called Cassidy Blake series. This is by Victoria Schwab. I've read the other two previous books. This is a middle grade series that's spooky and involves ghosts and ghost hunting, and it's so cute. But it's really fun and exciting. I really loved the first book, which was City of Ghosts, and then I thought the last book was okay. It was Tunnel of Bones. Oh my gosh, she's going to New Orleans. Oh my god, I'm so excited. So this follows a girl who almost died, and so because she almost died, she can now see ghosts, and her best friend is a ghost, and her parents actually run a ghost hunting show where one of them is the skeptic and one of them is the true believer, and they visit these haunted places, and obviously their daughter gets a little bit more into it than they do. It's such a cute series, so I'm really excited for that installment to come out. Next up, I have another sequel. So this is When Night Breaks, and this is the second book in the Kingdom of Cards series by Janella Angelis. I recently read Where Dreams Descend, which was the first book in that series, which is basically like a carnival, kind of like Caraval, kind of like The Greatest Showman, and it's just about mystery and magic and all these things, and I just loved it. I adored it so much. I read that end of last year, very end of last year. So I'm so excited to pick up the sequel. I'm so glad it's coming out so soon. I don't have to wait for it that long, though it is coming out in August. I am just so darn excited. It ended on a cliffhanger and I just don't know what to believe. I don't know. Then next up on my list is Hazel Bly and the Deep Blue Sea. This is the next Ashley Herring Blake book that's a middle grade, and I love Ashley Herring Blake. I discovered that last year, and I love her middle grades so much. They're all very diverse and feature all sorts of identities and just like that, and just tell really beautiful stories for a younger audience. And I don't know if I mentioned this a lot in my videos, but I am a writer and I hope to become an author one day, and I really enjoy writing middle grade and reading middle grade. So that's one thing I just really love, and I honestly don't know what this is about. So briefly reading the synopsis, I know that this deals with grief and anxiety, and those are just really hard subjects, and I think that Ashley Herring Blake does an amazing job of bringing up those topics and discussing them in such a natural and digestible way for a young audience, so I have no doubt I'm gonna love this book. Next up, I have one I know a lot of people are already gonna be excited about, and that is One Last Stop by Casey McQuiston. Casey McQuiston wrote Red, White, and Royal Blue. I actually have to send this to Ashley because I don't think she knows that this is coming out, and that's like her favorite book. I got everyone hooked on that book. Red, White, and Royal Blue took the world by storm, so I don't think you should be surprised to see this on this list. I think this one actually is a female-female romance, which is all the more cool. I couldn't say that exactly right. I believe it also has a little bit of fantastical elements thrown into it as well. Next up is The Roughest Draft by Emily Wibberley and Austin Seidman Broca. Now, if you've been on my channel for a while, you know that I tried to read their first book and absolutely hated it, and I had to DNF it because the writing style was so terrible, at least in my opinion, and I just couldn't. It was terrible. It was like you could tell it was like adults writing teenagers, and at the time I was probably like 16, so I was like no. I am giving them a second chance just because of how amazing and incredible this synopsis sounds. Let me just read it to you. It says, co-authors who wrote an instant bestseller and split up amid rumors of an affair are tasked to write another book together, and as their worlds begin to come together, so does their undeniable flame. Oh my god, like enemies to lovers, writers, I love it. Oh my god. Next I have another book by an author I've read a book of previously, and this is called 10 Truths and a Dare by Ashley Elston. Ashley Elston wrote 10 Blind Dates, which I read 2 years ago. It was a really cute holiday romance that I really enjoyed. This one I know is all about graduating and graduating high school. I don't know, I find like graduation and senior year in that time to be a really interesting and a really pivotal point in people's lives, and a pivotal point and really poignant topic to read and write books about. So I'm really excited for this. And I think it's like 10 things she wants to do before she graduates, something like that. She has like a list to check off. I know it also deals with just all that anxiety and all that stuff coming up when you're graduating. So I'm excited about this one. Next up I have With You All the Way by Cynthia Hand. Cynthia Hand is in The Lady Janies, who wrote that series, and she also wrote a couple other books that I really liked. The one I can think of right now is The Afterlife of Holly Chase, which was a Christmas Carol retelling, which I really liked. This one just seems like exactly what's up my alley. You've got a teenage main character whose life has just fallen to shambles. You know, her boyfriend dumps her, he was cheating on her, and like shit hits the fan and like everything goes wrong, and then she goes away to I think Hawaii, and I think she's just trying to kind of find herself and kind of feel better about her place in society and place in her life and place in the world. So I'm quite excited about this. I love a good coming of age story. If you know anything about me, I love coming of age stories, so I'm pretty excited about this. It sounds a lot to me like Breathless by Jennifer Niven, which Jennifer Niven is my favorite author, and Breathless came out last year, but it definitely wasn't my favorite story by her. So I'm hoping that it can be better than that. Or maybe it's just gonna be the same, who knows. Next up on my most anticipated is Candidly Klein. This is Catherine Ormsby's newest book. This sounds so good. So Catherine Ormsby, I think this is her first middle grade novel. No, it's not. I think she writes under a different name for her middle grade, but I could be wrong. So this is her first one publishing under Catherine Ormsby, and this is middle grade, about a girl who wants to be a country singer. Oh my god. Like, oh my god. I love Catherine Ormsby. She's written some of my favorite books, and Postcards, Tolstoy, and The Great and Noble End. I loved those books so much, and you know, I'm a middle grade about a country singer, and she has like a friendship breakup and her first crush on a girl, like Next up I have here Malibu Rising, which I think everyone is anticipating this release. This is the newest Taylor Jenkins Reid book, and Taylor Jenkins Reid took the booktube and book world by storm with Seven Husbands of Evelyn Hugo and Daisy Jones and the Six, and I think this is her first book coming out after Daisy Jones, and I couldn't be more excited. Do I know what it's about? No, but I do have the ARC off Neck Alley. This is the only book I think on the list that I actually have been approved for the ARC, so I can read it early. This is set in Malibu in the 80s, and it's about, ooh, a surfer and supermodel, about siblings and a singer. Oh my gosh, this is exciting. I'm so excited. I just feel like everything Taylor Jenkins Reid touches turns to gold, and this will be no exception, I bet. Next up I have here Only on the Weekends by Dean Atta. This was pitched as a queer love story for fans of sex education, and I love sex education. That is like one of my favorite shows. It's about a 15-year-old Mac. He's a hopeless romantic, and he's had a crush on this guy for a really long time, and then like another guy comes in the picture. Oh my god, they moved to Scotland. I love Scotland. I've always wanted to go to Scotland. Oh my god. Who did I just knock down? Conflicting feelings. Like, I hate love triangles, but I love Scotland and I love sex education and I love a good queer story, so I think that will combat the things that I hate about love triangles. So hopefully, fingers crossed, this sounds amazing. Next up is the new Tiffany D. Jackson book, and that is called Smoke. I've read most of Tiffany D. Jackson's books. I think I've only not read one of them. And they've kind of been hit or miss for me, but the last one I read, which was her latest release, Grown, was like one of my favorite books of the year. I loved that so much, and I think she does a really good job with kind of that contemporary thriller, kind of hard-hitting topics in her work. So this is another one of those. It's pitched as Get Out meets The Haunting of Hill House. It has it deals with ghosts, which like I love, and the girl I think thinks her house is haunted, but it's like really something worse. I'm so excited. I'm hoping this leans more towards Grown rather than Monday's Not Coming, which I didn't really like because that one was wacky. I am super excited for this one. Next up is a book that's already out, but I do want to mention it because I haven't heard anyone talk about it, and this is This Will Be Funny Someday by Katie Henry. This is Katie Henry's newest book. I've had an ARC of it for months and haven't read it. I'm a mess. I'm sorry. This is about a 16-year-old who wants to be a stand-up comedian. That is so cool. I am loving all these books with these like unique character aspirations, because I feel like in most books it's like all like the same stuff, like you fit into your little categories, but this is so cool. I love this. I think it's about, you know, like gaining confidence and like finding your freedom and friendship and things like that. I've enjoyed Katie Henry's last two releases, and I feel like this is gonna be amazing. But it's already out, so check it out. Oh, this is actually another book I have an ARC of, and this is My Contrary Mary. I actually was previously talking about Cynthia Hand, who is a co-author of this book. This is by Cynthia Hand, Brody Ashton, and Jodi Meadows. They wrote a series of retellings about different historical Janes, and so now they're doing a new series of Marys. So I think this is about Mary, Queen of Scots. Yes, I don't know anything about her, but I do have an ARC of this off Neck Alley. I think I have an audiobook, and their books are just so fun and they're so entertaining and so hilarious. I really love reading them. They add in like magic and things that they don't happen. They break the fourth wall, and I think that they have together such a unique writing style. I just find their books so fun and so funny and entertaining. Next up, Julie Murphy has 2 releases coming out this year, which is super exciting. So first we have Pumpkin, which I believe is in the 3rd installment in like the Dumpling universe. I believe this is about a fat, openly gay boy stuck in a small West Texas town, and his twin sister, and I don't remember him in the books. Oh my gosh. And he like is going into drag. Oh my gosh, this is so exciting. I think he's like auditioning for stuff. I think he's into like music and acting and things like that, and that is so fun. This year Prom's a drag. Oh my gosh. This is a drag queen prom. That's so iconic. And then the other Julie Murphy release is her first adult novel, adult romance, or adult contemporary romance, called If the Shoe Fits. And oh, okay, it's about a reality show. Oh yeah, I remember. It's kind of like a Cinderella retelling, but it's like this reality show called like After Midnight. Cinderella retelling, fat main character, Julie Murphy's writing style. Sounds like a plan. Next up is The Soulmate Equation by Christina Lauren. I'm falling. I love Christina Lauren. I feel like they hit it out of the, whoa, I just lost my voice. They hit it out of the park most of the time for me. Especially their latest release in the holidays was like so good. This is their new one. It's about like computer geek, not a computer geek, I guess a science geek. My brain. You know, 2 people who are like really into statistics, and the main protagonist is a single mom, so she has a kid, which I don't think they've done in any of their previous romances, so I feel like that's gonna be really exciting and really different for them to write about, especially like I don't see that a lot in the romance genre and the rom-com kind of like women's fiction kind of things. Like obviously it's gonna center a lot about family, and I think she had a difficult family situation anyways. It sounds really interesting. Christina Lauren, it's gonna be a steamy fun time. So next up is Emily Henry's new rom-com adult fiction contemporary romance new release. I don't like calling it one thing because like you never know. So this is called People We Meet on Vacation. She wrote Beach Read last year, shook the entire universe with that one. I loved it. It was one of my favorite books of the year. And this is a best friends to lovers romance. It also has a writer main character, which is so exciting because her last book also had writers. And I think it's like opposites attract romance. I mean, they're on vacation, so it's gonna be like, you know, time constraint, which is like always fun. I'm so down for this book. Next up, again, another book by an author I loved their previous book. She's coming out with Twice Shy, which is, I mean, to me it sounds like Christmas romance, but I don't think it is. Since it's coming out in April, I don't think it's a Christmas romance. I think this is about a wholesome romantic, and she like inherits a house. He's probably gonna work on the house, and like it's gonna deal with grief and like love. I loved Sarah Hogel's book so much. What was it called? You Deserve Each Other was the funnest and most entertaining enemies to lovers I've ever read. So I loved that so much, so I can't wait for that. Also, Abby Jimenez is coming out with a new book in the Friend Zone series, companion series kind of. I have the Friend Zone, haven't read it. I read the second one. Third one's coming out and I'm like, I obviously need to read this because why not? So, oh shit. So this is dealing with some heavy topics. I believe that the main character's mother has some sort of genetic condition. The main character doesn't know whether or not she has it, so she's kind of living her life not wanting to know and kind of trying to just live her life to the fullest, I believe. Oh shit, she's a YouTuber. YouTubers in books are very hit or miss for me because I feel like a lot of people don't understand how YouTube works. But hopefully that's gonna be okay. Oh, she has a daughter. She's an infant daughter. She meets a hot lawyer. This is exciting. I love that. That's so cute. And there's a dog. I love it. Next up, I don't know why I put this in here, but it's called Love Songs for Skeptics. Skeptics? Apparently can't read. Sorry, this is blurbed by both Christina Lauren and Beth O'Leary, so I was like, well, shit, I need to read it. So this is about second chances, second chance romance. I don't know. It's just about like musicians and it's like set in London and like I like have a thing for musicians. And only in books, guys. There's gonna be a wedding involved. There's a rock idol. I love stories about musicians. I just love musicians because I love myself. Anyway, next up is Sarah Morgenthal's newest book, which is Enjoy the View. This is her third book in the Moose Spring series. I read Tourist Attraction in December of last year. I really liked it. And then she came out with another one, which was Mr. Right, Mistletoe and Mr. Right, which I haven't read yet. Probably gonna save that for December as well. But this is another kind of companion romance series. This is following a Hollywood darling, and it's just set at this like ski resort. Next up is We Can't Keep Meeting Like This by Rachel Lynn Solomon. So this one is her young adult one, and it's about a wedding harpist, and like she meets someone at the wedding. So it's like a summer romance, and like she's playing like all these weddings. I love it. And then her other book coming out this year is The X Talk, which sounds so cool. This is actually an adult book, and this is probably already out by the time you're seeing this video. And it is about radio co-hosts who were like involved or like in a relationship, and then they broke up, so now they have to like do this show about being exes. I don't know. On The X Talk, two exes will deliver relationship advice on air. And I believe that they stop being exes at some point, if you know what I mean. Next up is another middle grade, and this is Starfish by Lisa Phipps. I believe this is a debut. I could be wrong. This book has been on my radar for a little while because, yeah, it is a debut, which is super cool. This has been on my radar for a little while. This is about a plus-size main character. It's written in verse, and I believe it's set at the summer, and it's kind of you know, following her feelings towards her body and herself, and how she projects those feelings and how she internalizes things like that. Again, a really important topic to read about for middle grade. Next up is Spin With Me by Amy Polonsky. This is also a middle grade novel, and it centers around a non-binary teen and centers around two non-binary teens. This is me being bad at reading. And I believe one of them is like only in the like school for like a short amount of time. They're gonna fall in love. I mean, I think it's obviously it's middle grade, so they're probably just gonna like have their first crushes and things like that. Honestly, this is like this I think is the first like middle grade that I've seen, at least with a non-binary with non-binary main characters, which is an incredible feat in literature, especially for middle grade, and just having that representation and having especially two characters who are non-binary, which I think is incredible and fantastic. Like I said, I love a good time constraint. It's one of those things I learned about in some of my writing classes. Really puts the pressure on, so I'm really excited about this. It seems really, really cute, and I just... Next up is Willa of Dark Hollow. This is by Robert Beatty. This is the second book in the Willa series. I read Willa of the Wood last year. Absolutely adored it. It's a middle grade fantasy. How do I describe it? About this girl who lives in the woods, and it's kind of a commentary on gentrification and building over native land and taking over people's land and people's property and people's livelihoods. It's incredible. It's an incredible movie story. I think I cried when I was reading it. Kind of like a survival story too, and I just loved it. I loved it so much. It has a little bit of magic in it as well, and this is the sequel, obviously, so I am so excited. I didn't know it had a sequel, and then I looked it up and I was like, okay, so like right now I need it. Next up is It Goes Like This, the 4th, the 5th by Miel Moreland. This is again a debut, and it's about 4 queer teens who start a band. Again, all I need. All I need in a book, and I think there's gonna be some little entanglements here and there, you know, like who's screwing who knows. I love that. Next up is another book by an author I've read before, and this is Alicia Rye's new book, which is First Comes Like. This is the 3rd book in the Modern Love series. I read the previous 2 books, loved the first one. The second one was okay, but this one is about one of the characters who is like a beauty guru and like an influencer. And I really loved her character in the other books, and I was like, I'm so ready for her romance. I'm so excited to see this one. And last but not least, I've been talking for too long, is The Road Trip by Beth O'Leary. I love Beth O'Leary. Consistently, she has been coming out with nothing but bangers. I feel like this will be no exception. I think it's about a road trip with like 5 people. They're going to Scotland. Guys, I just want to go to Scotland. And like, again, they have like different entanglements. Like, I think there's like there's like exes and like a wedding coming up. Beth O'Leary can do no wrong at this point in my mind. So those are all of the books that I wanted to talk about today. I hope I brought to light some books that are coming out that might interest you. And if I didn't, I'm sorry. But yeah, anyways, that's all for this video. Make sure to let me know in the comments down below which books you are most excited for coming out in 2021, or if you think there's any books that I missed. Yeah, and with that being said, like, comment, subscribe, do all the things, and I'll see you in my next video. Bye!